Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday, the 20th day of September 2024. I hope you're safe and healthy today. Happy Friday. Hope your family's safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are trying to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover. Teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators and those who profit from these things and the perverts that create the demand for these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, children, families, veterans, senior citizens, homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. In 2010, 2011, that was the year that Tom Thibodeau's team in Chicago won 62 games. They were 62-20. Derrick Rose was the MVP that year. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost in 5 games to LeBron James and crew at Miami that year. But that year was the last time that Thibs had a team that could compare to what we're getting ready to see this year. And the interesting thing about that year, this team, I feel, is better than that team. That team had its share of adversity as well. Derrick Rose was MVP. He played 81 games that year. But that year, Luol Deng, Derrick Rose was the starter, along with Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer, and Keith Bogans. Problem was, Boozer and Noah got hurt. They got hurt in the middle of the season, and then Tom Thibodeau went to 38-year-old Kurt Thomas and 25-year-old Taj Gibson to finish the season. Then his bench was Ronnie Brewer, C.J. Watson, Kyle Korver, and Omar Asik. That was his 9-man rotation after the injuries, and they won 62 games. That team is not as good as this team. But the interesting thing is, this team also has an MVP candidate. Now, I know there were some idiots last year in the media talking about Derrick Rose cannot lead a team. He's a small guard. He can't lead a team to a championship. He's only a 1 or not a 1A or some stupidness. But they should all shut up now because he's obviously proven he is a winner. He's been a winner every place he's gone, and he's going to be a winner in New York, as he's already been. But this year, I'm going to start it if nobody else is talking about it. He should be in the MVP conversation. I mean, we talk about him like, let me speak for myself. I take Jalen Brunson for granted. I know he's going to play 72 games. I know he's going to average 25 a game. I know he's going to lead the Knicks. I know he's going to be clutch. It's just a given. But understanding all that, that makes him in the MVP conversation. If the Knicks are top 3 in the East and Brunson is doing anything like he was doing last year, which is scoring over 25 a game, then he definitely would be in the MVP conversation. He scored 29 a game last year. And if he ends up doing stuff like that, see, that's what makes everything else go. Derrick Rose was that in Chicago for Tom Thibodeau. Jalen Brunson is now. 2 different style players, but the effect is the same. So that teams have to pay attention to Brunson. He's the number 1 option. He's going to have the ball in his hand most of the time. And if you don't double him, he's going to kill you. And not only does he kill you, see, some cats can kill you, but their stats don't mean nothing because their teams still lose. But when Jalen Brunson's killing you, his team is winning. So you got to double him. You got to keep him out the paint. Otherwise, he's going to destroy you. And then, of course, we have, as we know, we have all the other weapons. Juju, McCall, OG. We have lob threats with Mitch Rob, the bench Mob Deep. We got all these other weapons as well. So Brunson is going to be the thing that makes everything go. And he's it's interesting. I think the Knicks are capable of winning in excess of 60 games this year. I'm conservative, and I'm going with 55 plus, which means plus, which means more. But I'm going baseline of 55, and then I'll say 55 plus. But they are certainly capable of winning 62 games. The year that Derrick Rose won MVP, he played 81 games that year. He started 81, played 81. Okay? I'm not expecting that from Brunson, even though last year he did play 77. I just don't want him getting hurt and wearing himself out for the playoffs. But he is certainly in the MVP conversation this year. He should be. Okay? There's a lot of great players out there. But if the Knicks, generally, your MVP is a guy that's not just one of the best players in the league, but it's most valuable player, which means he's leading a team that's winning. And the team would not win without him. He's leading a team that's winning. So if the Knicks end up top 3 or top 2 in the East, and now they make the voting, I think, before the playoffs. So, but if they end up going to the Eastern Conference Finals, to me, there's very little other guys you could talk about as MVP. I mean, if Oklahoma City goes to the Western Conference Finals, you got to give SGA some serious consideration. He's Jalen Brunson over there, right? So you got to give him some serious consideration for MVP. Or if Minnesota, does better than they did last year, and last year they was pretty daggone good, Ant is going to be considered MVP. But I think we have to really look seriously as a top 5 candidate going into the season, Jalen Brunson. Now, a lot of the media, I don't know, you got people all over the place. They hate the Knicks, but they can't help but understand the Knicks are the deal this year. So everybody's now they go from hating the Knicks and the Knicks not being able, a year ago, the Knicks barely being able to make the play-in, to now all of a sudden they got sky-high expectations. It's amazing how they act. But Jalen Brunson from right now, top 5 candidate for the MVP of the NBA. And like I said, he plays the way Jalen Brunson played last year, but now we don't have all those injuries. MVP. Period. I'm pushing it from now. MVP. Jalen Brunson. You all enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday. Shalom.